Welcome, everybody, to the Tiggy Maximus Talks podcast. This is episode 121 on YouTube. I want to thank you guys for listening, watching, subscribing, following all these episodes. Thank you. Thank you all. And just so you know, there is a link on my Spotify episodes where you can make a small donation towards the podcast if you like. Let's try to get those numbers up. A lot more great content coming your way. On this episode, guys, I'm just going to be talking about comedy. 3 comedy shows, actually. So let's do the comedy show review. So, first show, Thursday night, I went downtown to the Mad Bomb Acid Vault on Island Avenue, close to the boxing club, downtown San Diego. The show was hosted by Melissa Wiseman, great host, great comic. Overall, I would say it was a decent, great show on Thursday. The headliner was Bob Hansen. Melissa Wiseman had started off pretty well, warming things up for the crowd, and honestly, she has really great crowd work. They really are responsive to her questions, getting to know the crowd. So you kind of need to set up to know who's in your crowd, you know. And I thought she did a great job. I would say her jokes, she had a few new jokes, and did pretty well with this crowd. Although starting off, you can get the vibe that this was going to be a slightly tough crowd tonight, but she got some good laughs in there, so everybody started to loosen up. But overall, I would say Melissa's set was an 8.3 out of 10. Next up, I believe we had Walter Ford. Great guy, seen him around a few times. He's basically the face of Gary, Indiana, apparently. A lot of great jokes, but this is when you kind of start noticing that the crowd was a little bit tougher and more relaxed, and they just must have forgotten how to laugh for like 10-12 minutes or something. So basically, some people did laugh, like myself, but not everyone in the room laughed at the same time. And it happened a lot during his set, a lot of periods of silence. So I think he must have said something where he was basically getting the vibe that this kind of crowd is to challenge the comics to make me laugh. So that was what he was getting at, and it's kind of true. There was a young group behind me, and I guess maybe a lot of the jokes, whether or not it actually goes over the head of younger people, but maybe more catered towards like the older crowd, maybe older than 30, maybe, because they could think this was a young crowd actually, but there were some great looking like 20 something, early 30s, so but honestly, I would say his set was, let's say, 8 out of 10. Mainly because the jokes were funny, and I usually get them, which was the case here, but I can't say the same thing for the crowd around me, because the first thing you think of is the crowd around you. If they don't laugh, either they don't get it. The thing is, I got it. So I think they were good jokes, just that the crowd just let it go over their head. So, in that case, I would just give Walter an 8 out of 10. Next comic I believe went up was, I believe it was Sarah Fatimi. She was, I guess you could say, a roast battle champion. So, I can imagine her being like a very responsive person. Um, Maybe one of those one-liners, one-line zingers. She was also kind of cool to talk to. But other than that, let's see. She had some good jokes. Crowd was into it about half the time, I would say. This was actually my first time seeing her, and this is so roasting and telling jokes can be two different things, but they're kind of under the same umbrella if you think about it. But other than that, she had a decent performance. I would say 8.2 8.2 out of 10. So, let's see. Let's see. Next person I believe came up was Raul Zambrano. So, guy's pretty funny. He actually got bigger laughs for his jokes outside of the one he normally tells about the, have you ever pooped so long in the bathroom that the lights go out? And then, well, I know that that's probably like one of his golden jokes. But yeah. I would say he had a good reception for his jokes, and crowd laughed quite a bit. I think he was kind of, let's say, 8.4 out of 10. So, and then we got your headliner. So the headliner, Bob Hansen, always come out with a vibrant energy vibe. Does pretty well. He always gets the crowd going. And that was probably for at least 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I noticed that he kind of started picking random stuff to talk about, and they were funny. But you can also notice that there's silences during his set, and that was what it was pretty much for every single comic that was up. And I noticed that when that was happening. So that's, you're gonna get crowds like that, I'll admit. So overall I would say a lot of the stuff that Bob was saying during the set, I do remember most of it. So there were some new ones, but I think he was starting to either he wanted to feed off more from the crowd, but because the crowd was kind of relaxed and chill, and Bob had a moment on stage where I think the photographer Dominic had stood right behind him, and Bob says that he was uncomfortable with Dominic taking the pictures from right behind him. So that was kind of a weird thing going on, but other than that, overall great set. I like his jokes. I can't wait to see if he has more new jokes coming down the road, and or maybe just simply just add on top of what he has. So we'll see what happens. Overall, I would say Bob Hansen's set was about an 8.5 out of 10. Next show I went to was a Friday night show. It was at the Courtyard, downtown San Diego. It was very close to the Mad Bomb, Massive Vault. Great venue, very spacious. And they have drinks. They have food. I got the roll tacos. They're pretty decent. Um, and then this show was produced by Matt Stanton. First time meeting the guy. Um, and then I would say, um, uh, let's see. First person that went up, and I didn't realize this, but Melissa Wiseman was on the show, and she started off. I got to kind of babysit Pearl, her puppy. Um, and I know that Pearl wanted to jump on stage for her mommy, but I had to keep her with me, and then wait for Melissa to finish her set. People kept asking me about my puppy, or Melissa's puppy. um, yeah, there's just something about Pearl. It's just so cute, and you kind of wanna, do, look out for the, look after her, and make sure, look out for what's best for her. Um, Other than that, Melissa's set did pretty well. A lot of people were laughing quite a bit. I can hear in the front rows, and I can hear in various parts of the crowd. So I would say that was an 8.5 out of 10. She did a great job. The next person was Rui Montilla. So Melissa and Rui actually had to replace two of the female comics who were supposed to be on there. I think their names were Nikki Futch, Butch. Is it Nikki Futz? And then the other person was, I think her name was Keitra Long. So I would say, it would have been nice to kind of meet Nikki and Petra, but you got Melissa and Rui. They're about as the next best thing as you can have. Rui did pretty well. He was pretty awesome. Got the crowd going. He had a reference about Sting. I was thinking the same thing he was when he said that, wait, Sting? You mean the wrestler? And I laughed because I knew what that was. But then he talked about Sting, the artist, musician. So that was pretty fun. And he had a lot of stuff too about his grandma and stuff. And a lot of great jokes. And I would say overall, he was an 8.6 out of 10. So did a great job with that crowd. And then you got your headliner. Oh wait, no. Before I forget, Matt Stanton did go up. He had some decent jokes. I actually was standing backstage when he was up. He did pretty well. I would say an 8 out of 10 for his comedy. Really cool guy. But then now you have your headliner, Natasha Chandel. I actually got to meet her backstage. She was kind of warming up for her set, and I like that. It was a great set, and she was really nice to talk to. She even brought her boyfriend with her, DJ Luis Miranda, who's actually in high demand when it comes to performing his DJing anywhere in the country, or maybe even outside the country. So yeah, that's pretty cool though. I got to hear about half of Natasha's set. The reason why that being the case, because in one ear I'm listening to Natasha's thing, and the other ear I think I'm talking to Jen, the bartender there. So I think the bartender liked Rui the most, and technically I think he was the funniest actually. But yeah, I think overall I remember some stuff from Natasha talking about don't namaste her. Um, Overall, I really like Natasha's set, so I want to give her a score of an 8.45 out of 10. So I'm going to see her again at the NoHo Comedy Festival at the Haha Comedies Club up in Lancashire Boulevard. So this should be fun. Pretty cool. After the show, got to talk to Natasha and Luis Miranda, her boyfriend. He's a DJ. Got to talk to Melissa, hang out with Pearl a little bit. Got to talk to Matt a little bit too. So they're all cool. Rui had to do his other thing. He had to go to another set, another comedy club. So it was all good. I see him a lot. So I got to go to the Hollywood Improv yesterday. Drove up there because my friend Aaron Monte was going to perform along with his friend, buddy, partner, Large Thompson, part of the Run the Fools. And also the Chip Nicholson, he was on there too. I was also going to see Josh Edelman, but he's actually out of town, so he actually did not perform at the show, actually. And this is called The Undiscovered Genius at the Hollywood Improv. So, because of that, the host was actually a fill-in. First time seeing Nikki Bond, so she did her set as a host. Did a great job, but apparently I guess she had a hard time interacting with the front of the crowd. They weren't really interacting that much, so that's kind of her bread and butter if she can get going with the people in front. So, but she got the vibe that she thought she got the vibe, whatever vibe she thought she got, and that was pretty much how the rest of the show was gonna go. So I would say Nikki Bond was about a 8 out of 10 for her hosting and comedy. I believe the next person that went up was Chip Nicholson. Great guy. I actually thought he could have won the SoCal Funniest competition, but that wasn't the case. He actually lost to Orion Levine, which is very justifiable because Orion Levine is super funny. Other than that, Chip Nicholson, a lot of the stuff was mostly familiar. Maybe it threw in a couple new jokes, but a really cool guy to talk to and hang out with. Mad props to him, and see how well he's going to do down the road. So I would say his set was about an 8.5 out of 10. So the next person that went up, I believe it was Elise Gogolowski. First time seeing her, she's kind of intense. She had a voice, deep voice. She talked about it. Said that she's single, I think, with a boyfriend. So I thought her stuff was 8.4 out of 10. Good stuff, good crowd reaction for her stuff. I believe the next person that went up was Nas Janice. Guy was super intense. Kind of got the grunge look. Said he wants to be a cop. He went from intense to mellow quite a bit in his set. So, but overall, crowd was kind of into his set, I've noticed. So I would probably say he was like a 8.25 out of 10. So let's see what else. There was a Run the Fools. Sarah Monte and Large Thompson did like 2 or 3 songs which had jokes in it, and they performed it for us live, and that actually was pretty cool. Um, Aaron is a cool guy. I finally got to see him, so I'm glad I did. It was a really fun comedy set with music from Run the Fool. So, I'm a fan. I would say they were 8.7 out of 10, so I liked it. Next person I think went up was Jamel Dotson. First time seeing him. Guy was funny. He was looking for his people, looking for black people, apparently, in the crowd. So, had some decent jokes. I thought he was about an 8.3 out of 10. And then, I believe we have your, this is your headliner, Ben Palmer. So Ben Palmer, wow, he was pretty funny. His whole entire comedy set was tied to his PowerPoint, showing all the fake accounts he's made to counter, to talk to like these verified accounts from like IHOP and Denny's and Chick-fil-A and I guess politicians and stuff, and the way he presented it, and he actually took his time with it, didn't rush anything. Every single slide that he showed us and some audio with the actual politicians and stuff and lawyers, it was super funny that the way that he had everything set up, and the fact that he even showed us all this footage and stuff and all these screenshots put into a PowerPoint, I would say that was kind of golden. I actually liked his entire comedy set. I would say he was about an 8.9 out of 10 for his entire thing. So overall, pretty much a fun show overall. Got to see some emails from, I guess her name is Gina or something, that was posted in the projection screen, which had the Improv logo on it, but then all of a sudden it switched over to the email, like emails of someone's account, and I guess it's someone named Gina for the Improv or something, or work account. So I guess maybe they're just trying to cover it up, but oh well, it's too late. We saw the emails. It made references to it. So overall, fun times with that, and back to my life here in San Diego. You probably noticed earlier that I had some footage of me at the beach. That was the Torrey Pines Beach. Beautiful place. Other than that, guys, next time I talk to you, I did say that Ben Palmer was an 8.9, right? Yeah. Anywho, yeah. Next time I'll talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys more about sports, food, and talk about a little more comedy. So, well, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Remember to have a good time this weekend. Be safe. Have some good food, good company. Watch some good action, and watch some good comedy shows. And boom, Tiggy Maximus signing off. Baby. Booyah.